In this video, we're talking about a common crime in Arizona. It's called shoplifting. Specifically, we're talking about the penalties. In another video, I explained what the mental state and what the action, what the conduct is under the statute that's required in order to be convicted of a shoplifting charge. In this video, we're talking about the penalties. So where do you fall in terms of the range of penalties if you are being charged with shoplifting? A lot of it has to do with the specifics of your case and the value in question of what they're alleging was actually taken. What was the property, the value of the property that was removed or that a person was deprived of. So let's take a look at the statute. We'll run through it, and that way you'll have a better understanding of where your case may fall. So again, the statute is 13-1805. It explains the penalties, and so let's run through them. In our experience, most shoplifting offenses are misdemeanors. So just as a quick recap, Arizona has civil violations. They're very minor for speeding or running a red light. You have what are called misdemeanors, which is the next level up. Then at the very top, the most serious offenses are felonies. Within the felony category, the most serious is a class 2 at the top. The least serious is a class 6, and you have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. With the misdemeanor category, you have class 1, which is the most serious, just below a class 6 felony, a class 2, and a class 3, which is the lowest. So most shoplifting charges are misdemeanors because the value is just insufficient enough to make it a felony, but there are certain circumstances where shoplifting can be a felony. Let's take a look at what those are. So first and foremost, if the value of whatever they're claiming was taken, the property that was taken, that was shoplifted, is at $2,000 or above, it's going to be a class 5 felony. So that's one above a class 6, which is the lowest. If it is shoplifting that is part of what's called a continued criminal episode, it's also going to be a class 5. What is a continuing criminal episode? So it's property that accumulated is $1,500 in value or more. It was taken over 3 separate occasions within a 90-day period. So if it's multiple infractions, it's multiple shoplifting incidents, and the property has to accumulate or aggregated, it has to be $1,500 or more. If that's the case, and they can pinpoint at least 3 separate occasions or more, that's going to be a class 5 felony. They're going to aggravate those things, and it's going to be considered a continuing criminal episode. The other way that you can get it is that it's also a class 5 felony, is that if it's in furtherance of a criminal gang or what's called a criminal syndicate. So this may be in a situation where somebody is going into, for example, steal cell phones or something that is going to be used in a criminal enterprise or as part of a criminal syndicate, meaning it's going to be used for other criminal activity. They're going to charge that as a class 5 felony. All right. Other ways that you can get it that is a felony is going to be if it's $1,000 or more in value, but it's less than $2,000. So you can see it's one level lower than this. It's a class 6 felony. So if the value is under $2,000, but it's over $1,000, it's going to be a class 6 felony. And then we drop down to a misdemeanor felony. So if it's less than $1,000, it becomes a class 1 misdemeanor. So it drops out of the felony category into the misdemeanor category, unless it involves a firearm. So there are a lot of firearms that are less than $1,000. Many are a couple $100s, all the way up to $700, $800. If the shoplifting involves a firearm, it's going to be a class 6 felony. Even though it's less than $1,000, the fact that it's a firearm bumps it up into the felony category. The other things that are important to understand, if the shoplifting includes any artifice or instrument, like things like scissors or a bag that's lined with foil or some sort of device that is interfering or meant to cut off the security tags or anything like that, it's going to be a class 4 felony. So the fact that you used something to facilitate the shoplifting aggravates it substantially. It's going to bump it. So no matter what the value is, it's going to bump it into that class 4 felony, which, as you can see here, is the highest that we've got on this list. So just the simple fact of using something to facilitate the shoplifting makes it that much more serious. The other thing that really aggravates any penalties for shoplifting is if you've got priors. So if you've got two or more priors within the last 5 years, so you want to look back 5 years, and if you have other convictions for shoplifting or for burglary or for theft or any of those types of crimes, and you get charged with a new shoplifting charge, they will aggravate it, meaning they will turn it into a class 4 felony. even if the value is under $1,000. So it could be as small as taking a candy bar, but if you've got other prior convictions for other crimes like shoplifting, burglary, theft, they're going to aggravate it. They're going to turn it into a class 4 felony. As I mentioned in the other shoplifting videos, there's a lot that we can do to defend against these cases. So just because you've been charged with shoplifting doesn't mean that you're going to be convicted of it. There's a lot that we can do in terms of dealing with the mental states, challenging the conduct that is alleged in your case, having interviews with the loss prevention officers, reviewing and doing interviews with the officers who showed up after the fact. These cases can be a little bit involved, especially if you've got the priors and they need to prove those things as well. So just the fact that you've been charged with shoplifting, have a little bit of hope. Okay, there's a lot that we can do to help. If you have been charged and would like to speak to our team, please give us a call. We offer free case evaluations. We practice in criminal law all over Arizona. We've handled many, many cases just like this and had some great outcomes on them. So give us a call. We'll get you in. We'll get you scheduled. Absolutely no obligation. We'll make sure that we review the facts of your case. You understand how the process is going to work, and you have a good plan moving forward. Give us a call. We look forward to speaking with you. Thanks for watching.